Kia ora, welcome back to another Sir Cooper trip report. I've currently just landed into Wellington from my flight in from Brisbane on board NZ272 in the A321neo, so I just need to get through customs and biosecurity before I can continue this trip report. Fortunately, Wellington is all one terminal, so transferring will be as easy as taking a lift to domestic check-in once we clear our bags through biosecurity. At Wellington, on top of passport control and customs, we had to go through biosecurity, in which you have to declare items and foods that may be unwanted in the country. We had hiking equipment and food with us that saw us enter biosecurity with a yellow tag, which was one out of 3 risk ranking tags they provided before being searched. The process took a while and ate into our tight 100-minute layover time, but we made it through, albeit a little bit confused and disorganised. Now we've made it to check-in, which we can skip since we were checked in through to Christchurch back in Brisbane, although we still need to drop our bags off. Wellington Airport has self-guided baggage drop kiosks on offer that simplify the process for passengers, with only 2 staff persons being present in baggage drop, guiding passengers to empty conveyor belts. Adjacent to the relatively large Air New Zealand check-in area is where you can check into Qantas, Jetstar and Fiji Airways flights, both for international and, in the case of Jetstar, domestic flights too. Despite being the capital of New Zealand, Wellington Airport is small in terms of what airlines serve here and the destinations the capital city is connected to. At 116 weekly international flights, Wellington is only connected to 5 international cities, those being Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane and the Gold Coast in Australia, and Nadi in Fiji. Unfortunately, most travellers from Wellington have to transit through cities like Auckland or Christchurch to access many international destinations, with Air New Zealand offering flights across Asia, America, and other airlines connecting the city to South America and the Middle East, all from Auckland. Right at the entrance of the airport are escalators down to the ground level, where passengers arriving internationally first emerge after clearing customs and biosecurity, and where domestic passengers collect their bags. There are a couple shops down here, including One New Zealand, a sim store, Ted and Rose, which appears to be a small eatery, a tourist shop, and a Subway, which is all a fitting selection of stores for those arriving into the city. Down the hall from the entrance and check-in is the shopping and seating area, which I'll tour you around. To the right are stairs to the lower floor, and opposite to the stairs is a small cafe and a sushi shop. Beyond that is a small New Zealand souvenir store and a generic souvenir store. Beyond there is a bar/eatery, and then the walkway towards more gates and the international departure hall. A Ben & Jerry's is next to that with plenty of seating accompanying it, alongside a stunning view onto the tarmac. A small bar sits along this window, which is next to a sizable burger restaurant. Besides that is more seating and a currency exchange, as well as more Christmas decor and the giant Lord of the Rings inspired statues hanging from the ceiling. Beyond that is a simple refreshments and snack shop alongside some middle of the terminal gates, a small bar, a sunglass store, and another small cafe. After that you reach the far end of the terminal leading off to more gates. Our departing flight will be from here at gate 9, which is shared with gates 3 to 12, but I'll explain that later. Adjacent to the gates 3 to 12 entrance is the seating lounge for those gates, which is accompanied by a small cafe and bar. Then along the eastern wall of the terminal is an assortment of clothing and cosmetic stores, as well as a replay and some stairs to the lower levels. Fortunately, that's pretty much it on this floor, a reasonably sized selection of stores for a small airport with plenty of seating to offer all passengers. It's 4:07 at the moment, less than 30 minutes before scheduled departure, but our aircraft for today is delayed, so I have some time to eat and relax. And here's our aircraft for today, Zulu Kilo Mike Victor X-Ray, a 5-year-old ATR 72-600, which has arrived from Hamilton nearly 30 minutes late. Mike Victor X-Ray will taxi on down to the remote bay south of the terminal, out of sight. Read the description below the video to learn more about the history of our aircraft. Now it's time for boarding, only 5 minutes behind our scheduled departure time from Wellington. Oh well, at least we don't have any connecting flights after this. At Wellington, gates 3 to 12 are actually remote bays where prop aircraft park, like Air New Zealand's -8 Q300s and ATRs, and aircraft from lesser-known airlines such as Sounds Air, Air Chatham's, Origin Air, and Golden Bay Air. As well as being the gates for prop aircraft, unlike all the other gates which serve larger jet engine aircraft, gates 3 to 12 don't have any baggage screening facilities, which might be uncommon, although this is my first time flying a prop aircraft. Anyways, all passengers departing through gates 3 to 12 walk down this long corridor out to another small waiting area before you head out onto the tarmac where your aircraft is waiting.
Just with Mum at the back. Oh, Dad with the back.
Once inside the ATR, the headspace is quite limited. If you're above 6 foot, you'll have to slightly bend down to walk through the aisle. The ATR 72-600 is laid out in a 2x2 configuration in all economy. Since you board at the back of the plane on ATRs, for those seated at the front of the plane like us in row 4, you have to wait and walk down the entire length of the aircraft. But eventually, you make it to your seat. After a quick seat swap from 4A to 4D, the captain announced they're getting us off the ground as fast as they can, so let's just skip right into the departure sequence. Even though we're still ascending out of Wellington, the crew have come around to hand out cups of water to passengers, the start of a 3-part onboard snack service. The second part of which was served shortly afterwards, once we'd reached cruising altitude over the Cook Strait. For this hour-long flight, you had the choice of either chocolate pretzels or a mango coconut bliss bite, or both. For now though, I'll leave these snacks for after I run you through the seat tour. The tray table here is quite small, but does move back and forth and folds up like so. Behind that is the safety card, sick bags, and Air New Zealand's monthly Inflight magazine. Below that is the small seat back pocket with my phone and hand sanitizer. And below the seat in front of me is my Canon camera bag and backpack. Sitting up straight in my seat, the legroom is about a hand and 2, maybe 3 fingers. It's a pretty good legroom for anyone around 5'9". Above the seat is the adjustable fans that were pretty weak, the seat lights, and the call crew button. On top of all that, while I didn't film it during the flight, once we landed, I took a photo of the hole in my virtually paper window shade. Anyways, we're underway with the flight, and with nothing much to do in terms of entertainment, most of us are resting or listening to music for the duration of the flight. But part 3 of the lolly service came around, which I couldn't resist. Just as we begin our descent into Christchurch, I thought I'd make a few final comments. This video was very, very brief. This is the shortest trip report video I've ever made, but I think that reflects the nature of Air New Zealand's short domestic flights. A lot of these ATRs and Q300s operating short regional flights within New Zealand operate half a dozen flights a day or more with short turnaround times, so an aircraft can't afford to be too delayed like ours because that affects the rest of the day's flights. As well as that, unlike other flights, there isn't too much to report on with regards to the airport or the aircraft. Its simplicity is one of Air New Zealand's biggest strengths with their regional aircraft, ensuring crew can clean and prepare the cabins within the short turnover times. As for the service, both in flight and at the airports, Wellington has the perfect amount of stores and plenty of seating to facilitate the relatively small number of passengers passing through. And once on board, the service from Air New Zealand was exceptional with a host of kind cabin crew. Once landing in Christchurch, we also enjoyed an extremely simple and fast baggage claim process, with the carousel being right next to where we entered the terminal from. Overall, a fantastic flight that I will fondly remember as my first ever prop aircraft flight. Anyways, time for touchdown into Christchurch.
Thank you for watching this trip report. This was my second flight and first video using my new GoPro setup for the trip reports. So if you've made it to the end, let me know how it looks in the comments below, and comment whether you've flown on a prop aircraft before. Anyways, I hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you in another trip report very soon. So keep an eye out.